Alright, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video here at Reset. There is obviously always something to talk about when it's the beginning of a season and Reset comes around. It's a little late because I wanted to get some time in with a few things. I did do the Reset stuff, but it's mostly just there's a new Nightmare Containment boss, and then you kind of redo the Crow mission with different dialogue and sort of get to a resolution. There's some lore stuff to talk about there, but in general, the big thing that happened today was the arrival of the Iron Banner revamp, which, in addition to having like a new rank and reward system, which mirrors the trial system pretty closely, we also have the arrival of Rift as a game mode, and man, people are mad about Rift. The reaction I saw immediately was like, everyone was furious about it, and like people were like telling them to just take it off the game and just put it back on control, and like this is so awful. And I'm like, oh man, like that sounds terrible. But I am here with my hot take that I think Rift is kind of good and fun, and I don't really get why people are as mad as they are. I don't know, man. I don't really understand what people are talking about here. Okay, full disclaimer, I'm not talking about things like bugs. I know there are a lot of bugs that launch with Rift, and if you have experienced like a missing Rift or a dropped dunked thing or an infinite loading loop or whatever, like I understand that those things are happening. I've not experienced any of them in like, I don't know, 10 games or whatever, but I know they exist, and yes, that is a bad thing. I'm not going to say that's not bad. The one weird thing I will say about Rift is I don't love the black screen teleport to home. It just seemed like I don't mind the reset after the round. I think it makes it a little bit more even than it's been previously, and there's a lot of spawn camping and stuff in the old version of Rift, which you may have not seen through some rose-colored goggles there, but like that was a really big problem in original Rift. And I think this fixes that. It's just weird. Like I thought my game dropped the first time I got that black screen. I think it just needs some sort of animation or something, like the Rift reappearing in the middle or something. It needs something. Just the black screen is very jarring and disorienting. I also agree that it's just a little too long. I think going to 4 instead of 5 would probably fix that. I have a lot of games go to time, and if there's a lot of back and forths, I understand how it drags on. Like it can do that. I think it does that in the new map a lot, especially. Those games seem really long to me because that map is freaking enormous. But all the other stuff I kind of like. A big common complaint is the death and respawn timers. I think I get why they made that decision, and I don't think it would work with shorter respawn timers, because the reason they're 10-second respawn timers is the whole point of the mode is to kind of help your teammates push forward as a team. Teamwork. The whole point of the mode is teamwork. And even in the solo mode, I think people are starting to get kind of an idea over that, where you're seeing people group around the carrier, or you're seeing people res people. Like you really have to be resing people, and a shorter timer would mean it's almost not worth it to try and res your teammate because they're just going to respawn in 5 seconds or whatever it normally is. It would also create even longer, more stalemate games, because half the point of the respawn timers being that long is that it allows the other team to actually make progress. So if you wipe 4 of a 6-member team and the other 2 people aren't able to res them, you're going to be able to push forward like really hard. So I think that is kind of necessary. Like I get why people are annoyed with it compared to standard Crucible, but like this is very much not a standard Crucible game. This is an objective game, and you have to change the rules like based around that. And it literally would not work. It would be actively worse if you had shorter respawn timers. I fully believe that is the case. If you did not have revives and you just had normal Crucible respawn timers, I do not think that it would benefit the mode, frankly. I also think this is like day 1 hour, in the first 2 hours, people were screaming about this, and like no one is remotely trying to do builds like this. DMG posted this big thread about like building into this, and he's right. Like there are a lot of different things that you can do. Like you're not just going to use your normal PvP build here. Like Blink, Warlock is already becoming a favorite if you're going to be Rift Carrier. I posted on Twitter about how I had a guy on my team just throw up his banner shield, and then we all just ran behind him with our dude to dunk it, and like someone could have like counter supered us or whatever. Like there's counterplay to stuff like that, but it's It's very fun. I've been the Rift Carrier, and in a few maps you kind of just sneak way around the outside. You'll have like one buddy with you, and it's like this little mini covert ops mission. Like, as the rest of the team is engaged, because they don't know where you are until like someone spots you essentially and engages you. So you can do kind of a good amount of sneaking, and you don't always have to do these like mass 6-man rushes. Like there is some level of tactics where like I've come up behind people's score areas a number of times and scored that way. Um, I just don't think like it's as much of a disaster as everyone's making it out to be, and I think there are a lot of good elements about it. Um, I think the main problem with Iron Banner for me right now is that I don't really care about chasing any of the loot. I actually like the idea of the rep increasing based on the number of Iron Banner ornaments you're wearing to like kind of create a theme mood, and the if the daily challenges weren't mislabeled and confusing as weekly challenges, that would have been a little more helpful. But the idea of a score multiplier to kind of accelerate your gains, that's something I like to see in trials, kind of, honestly. Or, I don't know, even in normal Crucible to a certain extent, just something to accelerate your gains kind of the more you gear up for the event and like kind of lean into it. That to me is fun. The problem is there's not that much gear I care about right now in Iron Banner. I don't know. Maybe the bunch of stuff got new roles that I don't know about. Like maybe you can get an incandescent Forge's Pledge. I haven't looked that up. But the only new weapons are they brought back Wizened Rebuke and some SMG that I don't even remember the name of. But I know it wasn't like multi-mach. It wasn't the good SMG. So I don't really care about those per se. And I already have kind of my iron. Like you can't craft Iron Banner stuff. The more of the joys of crafting here. So there's no like you're not going for red frame Iron Banner weapons or whatever. Like that's not really a thing. And there's not a new armor set. Like Trials got 3 new armor sets. Trials got 2 brand new weapons. But this isn't Trials. This is the Iron Banner rework, but there is not that much Iron Banner loot to go for. So that is kind of my biggest issue with it right now is I guess I'll just grind out some rep and just experience the system, but there isn't really anything I'm actively going for. So I'm sort of just playing to play, which is fine. Like it's fun. It's a fun mode, and I got to rank up Crucible to get that cool shader, and I'm trying to actually get one of the Crucible stasis thingamajigs with good rolls on it because it's actually the only rapid fire stasis fusion rifle in existence. So that is something I am going for. That is not Iron Banner loot, but I've already gotten about 3 or 4 of those through playing Iron Banner. So as ever, I don't like I'm a very, very critical person about many aspects of Destiny, but I really think people are overreacting to the debut of Rift. It got really out of hand where like the community managers were being harassed. Yana had to throw up a message and she was getting threats. Like, God, calm down. Like you can't go that crazy. And like this is not even something to be that mad about. Like I think people are not remembering many of the problems Rift originally had back in Destiny 1, and I don't think people are really leaning into this as a tactical, objective-based mode in the way they should be. If you just try and play it like Control and run around and you're dying all the time, you have these 10-second timers and you're not anywhere near your teammates, so you always have to respawn really far away, yeah, that's not fun, but like you shouldn't be doing that. That's not how you're supposed to be playing. It's not that kind of mode. So I think maybe people need to give it more of a chance. Bungie is not going to turn it off and turn Control back on. At the very least, if they are going to do tweaks, they need to get player data based on this week of what works, what doesn't work, and like just screaming at them that this is the worst thing ever and this sucks and like it should be deleted immediately is not helpful. And I don't think it's true. I think there have been many, many things in Destiny's past that are much worse than this. They definitely have to fix the bugs. The bugs are not excusable, and that's something that I understand is a clearly bad thing. I've been lucky to really not experience those so far, but I get how that's frustrating. But the mode itself, I think, has a lot of promise. We're only seeing it literally 2 weeks this whole season, so it's not really the end of the world. It's not even like it didn't take over normal Crucible. You can still play normal Crucible if you really want to. And then there's only 2 weeks for this for all of Iron Banner. And again, there's not really that much Iron Banner loot to even go for, so it's not like some crazy thing is hidden behind this mode you don't want to play. So anyway, that's my take. I think it is going to run contrary to a lot of people's opinions on this. But that happens sometimes, so I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. Take care.